here to present a book called Crucial Conversations. George Bernard Shaw once said the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. Based on that, I think it's very important for us to understand the difference between a crucial conversation and everyday conversations that we have in our lives. What is the difference? Well, 3 things identify a crucial conversation. Number 1, opinions vary. Number 2, stakes are high. Number 3, emotions run strong. Examples of crucial conversations would be asking a roommate to move out, having a discussion with a partner about a lie or a mistruth, asking somebody to repay a loan for money that they borrowed from you. When it comes to our patients, a crucial conversation would be the patient changing code status, or a crucial conversation with a staff member would be addressing the fact that a family member of a patient or a patient themselves accused you, the nurse, of diverting pain medication. Have you ever been privy to watching a situation where somebody was about to address another individual with something we may describe as a crucial conversation? Even if you're not the intended recipient of that conversation, you develop stress and anxiety. Have you ever experienced a situation where the person having that, you were feeling like it was going to be a horrible conversation, and before you know it, the conversation's over and there was no blow up? What if it were possible that we could develop the tools to have these crucial conversations with people and everybody would walk away feeling better for having had that experience? Can you imagine it? Can you imagine not experiencing the stress and the anxiety every time you had to address somebody with something that we would describe as a crucial conversation? Well, unfortunately, that doesn't happen for very many of us. Usually when we're about to have these conversations, one of 3 things happens. Either we avoid it, we face it and it goes poorly, or we face it and it goes really well. See, when it matters most, we do our worst. Why? Why is that? Well, we're biologically designed wrong. Whenever we feel stressed or threatened or defensive, our body has a chemical reaction called adrenaline. Adrenaline starts pumping through our body. The hair on the back of our neck stands up. Our brain then begins to divert blood away from all non-essential functions to put us in a fight or flight mode. We are designed not to think during these conversations, to think when we need to think most. Instead, we are designed to have a fight or flight response. We're designed for hitting and running. So we need to develop tools to have these conversations. Once I realized that no matter how much I prepared for these high stakes emotional conversations, that I was genetically programmed not to follow the plan that I had set out for myself, to have this whole discussion that I had written out and practiced, that I rehearsed. Once I decided and realized that I was planned not to follow that, I wanted to develop these tools for talking. Ambrose Bierce said, "Speak when you are angry, and you will make the best speech you will ever regret." So how can I stay focused on what I really want? The first principle is start with the heart. When conversations turn crucial, we resort to forms of communication that we've grown up with, like debate or the silent treatment, manipulation, name calling. We contribute to the problems that plague us. But great dialoguers understand that I must work on me first and us second. We have to examine our motives. We have to start with the heart and stay focused no matter what. We have to continually ask ourselves, what do I want for myself? What do I want for others or the person I'm having the conversation with? And what do I want for this relationship? And how would I behave if I really wanted these particular results? At emotional times, we find ourselves resisting these questions because, don't forget, our brain is not functioning to solve these problems. Forcing our brain to answer these questions forces it to solve more complex problems. It helps us to come back almost to center, or by asking these questions and identifying the answers, it's like helping us to find our North Star. The second principle is learn to look. In the midst of a crucial conversation, are you able to notice when safety's at risk? The truth is, most of us have trouble dual processing, especially when stakes and emotions are high. We can learn to spot crucial conversations by noticing the physical, the behavioral, and the emotional signals we feel in ourselves, and sometimes we can perceive in others. Principle 3 is make it safe. Have you ever been in a crucial conversation and started watching the other person, actually observing their behaviors and realizing they don't feel safe? Key signals of this is that they're being silent. They're almost refusing to engage in you just by saying things like, yep, okay, yep. And they're not really actually engaging with their heart. That's a sign that it's no longer safe for them. Or sometimes people get violent and they start, meaning that I don't mean hitting, but I mean they're turning red, they're getting extremely defensive. You can tell by their behavior and their outward actions that they're no longer even listening. They're too busy defending themselves. Well, the third principle, make it safe, we can accomplish this by finding a mutual purpose and maintaining mutual respect. And it's also very important to apologize when appropriate. Principle number 4, remember your ABCs. Agree when you agree. Oftentimes, we agree with the most basic things about a conversation, and we wind up arguing about that 5 or 10%, like setting the date or where the event's going to happen, even though we all agree that the event's going to happen and the date needs to be all around, this month or this week. B is build. Build when others leave out key pieces. Acknowledge what they're saying is correct and then add to it by using keywords like, I agree, but in addition to what you're saying, I'd like to add ... 3, compare. C is compare. When you differ in your beliefs, it's okay to compare and contrast and still maintain dialogue. Now, let's talk about the pool. The pool of shared meanings. We each enter conversations with our own opinions, our own feelings, our own theories, our own experiences. You believe one thing, I believe another. I have a history, you have a history. Therefore, we all come to a conversation with differing viewpoints. We all see things through a different filter. People who are skilled at dialogue make it safe for everyone to add their meaning to the shared pool. Even ideas that appear wrong or are at odds with our own beliefs. It's important to let people find their way and their meanings to get them out into the open. As people share their ideas, they are part of a free flow of meaning. We need to develop the tools to make it safe to discuss issues and come to a shared pool of meaning. And when we do, our lives change. An important question to always ask yourself is, what do I want to contribute to the pool? Do I want to contribute negativity? Do I want to contribute my positive experiences, my advice, things that I've witnessed before, or do I want to make people feel unsafe with my words? Probably not. This book was transformational for me because I was able to identify certain things, behaviors, reactions that I have, and how I can easily step back, reassess myself, ask myself those questions that point to my North Star. For instance, what do I want for myself? What do I want for the person that I'm having this conversation with? And what is my end goal for this relationship? Because if I wanted all of these things, how should I be behaving? I think that those questions are essential to being a leader, to being able to remain calm and control your feelings even when your physiological design is not created for that. Instead, it's created to fight or flight. We can master that with practice. This book was awesome and I highly recommend it. It's called Crucial Conversations.